Good evening, scholars, and welcome to Comprehension Corner. Parents, I told you this week we were going to be looking at text a little bit differently. We have been looking at artwork with the Nelson and VTSing the artwork that we look at. Basically what it means is that we're teaching our scholars to think through art. They're having an opportunity to unpack paintings or really try to figure out and comprehend what's happening in them. The three essential questions that are asked in that process is, what's going on in this artwork? What do you see that makes you say that? And finally, the last one, what more can you find? We are thinking that we can take these three questions and really practice some deep processing as we read through our text at night and during the school day. So instead of asking what's going on in this artwork, our first question will be, what do you think's going on in this story, or what's going on in this text? The follow-up question is always, what do you see that makes you say that? This makes your scholars really have a firm grasp on what's happening in the story and being able to present some evidence to back up what they're saying. And then finally, what more can we find? So I'm going to read a little bit of Duck for President just to give us an opportunity to kind of practice this process together. So Duck for President. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of each day, Farmer Brown is covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. He doesn't smell very good either. You want to make sure you give them enough time to really look at the illustrations prior to reading the book. We've already spent a couple of months just practicing that, but make sure you do that. The animals have chores to do too. Pigs, clean under the beds. Cows, weed the garden. Sheep, sweep the barn. Duck, take out the trash, mow the lawn, grind coffee beans. At the end of each day, the pigs are covered in lint buddies. The cows are covered in weeds, the sheep are covered in dust, and Duck is covered in tiny bits of grass and espresso beans. Duck did not like to do chores. He did not like picking tiny bits of grass and espresso beans out of his feathers. Why is Farmer Brown in charge anyway? Thought Duck. What we need is an election. He made a sign and hung it up in the barn. Farmer Brown must go. Farm election tomorrow. Let's stop right here, scholars, and take a moment. What do we think's going on so far in this text? Talk to your parents now. What do you think is going on so far in this text? What did you see in the story that made you say that? Or what did you hear that made you say that? All right, scholars, let's see what more we can find. The next morning, Farmer Brown found a poster on his front door. Vote Duck for a kinder, gentler farm. What are we noticing right now, friends? What's going on? Farmer Brown was furious. He ran to the barn and found the animals registering to vote. The mice got together and protested the height requirements, so Duck crossed it out. Voter registration. Voters must live on the farm, show valid ID, be at least this tall. Parents, this is a good opportunity to kind of talk with our scholars a little bit about what's happening as far as the voting process. Just quick, nothing in depth. On election day, each of the animals filled out a ballot and placed it in a box. The vote was counted and the results were posted on the barn wall. Farmer Brown 6, Duck 20. So what's going on in the text so far? I'm noticing that the animals have gathered together to kind of get Farmer Brown out of leadership. What makes me think that is that they were kind of complaining about having to do all that work, mostly Duck. And so now they've gathered together to vote Farmer Brown out of the authoritative role. So now they've casted their ballots, and of course Duck has won. Farmer Brown demanded a recount. One sticky ballot was found, stuck to the bottom of Pig. The new tally was Farmer Brown 6, Duck 21. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. So what more do you see is happening in the story so far? What in the text makes you feel that way or think that way? Now, parents, here's a time when you're having a conversation with them and you're going to want to probe them a little bit more, ask more questions to see if they're really tracking what's going on with the text. I am going to say in this process that's okay, because that's the purpose. We want them to dig deep and really think about what's happening in the story. Also, parents, if you notice, as you continue to say in this text, in the illustrations, they're having to go back into the text. And so it takes away the opportunity to just grab something random and say it. Now I have to back it up, and I'm looking directly into the text, and I'm listening to what you're reading. So I hope this helps. Remember that our 3 questions are: what's going on in the text? What do you see that makes you say that? Or what do you hear that makes you say that? And what more can we find? Have fun with that for the month of November. Give us an email back. Let us know how it's going. Thanks.